So I don't think that government schools have any type of incentive to help us understand what our rights are. Ultimately, I think those in power thrive off of ignorance, and that is the perverse incentive whereby public, like John Taylor Gatto, he called it dumbing us down. His book was titled "Dumbing Us Down: The Hidden Curriculum of Compulsory Education." Um, I think that the incentive is in the reverse. Those in power prefer a people who are ignorant. Why? Because as Horace Mann said, then you're malleable. It's easy to manipulate people who don't know their rights. If we aren't even aware that this ideological battle is happening around us, that there are people in power who are trying to oppress us and chip away at our rights, we've already lost if we don't even know the battle is happening. And so think of it this way: 40 years ago, next year, 1983, there was a National Commission on Excellence in Education put together with the Reagan administration, and they got all these stakeholders and expert people and whatever, and they did this 18-month review, and they looked at schools and curriculum and teachers and the whole profession to kind of analyze across the country how are we doing overall with education. Keep in mind, this is 40 years ago, and here's this snippet from their report that they issued in response. The educational foundations of our society are presently being eroded by a rising tide of mediocrity that threatens our very future as a nation and as a people. If an unfriendly foreign power had attempted to impose on America the mediocre educational performance that exists today, we might well have viewed it as an act of war. As it stands, we have allowed this to happen to ourselves. So I look at that and I say, if that was 40 years ago, which I don't think they were wrong, what terminology would, if it was a rising tide of mediocrity 4 decades ago when I was barely born, what terminology would we use to describe what it is today? And again, like, I think the system isn't broken. I think the system is doing what its creators and many intend. That's not to say teachers sign up like you who want to help kids and inspire and teach. Like, I don't think hardly any teacher has that aspiration to help suppress the curiosity of children, but they find themselves being absorbed into this Borg like collective that resistance is futile, and now we're all automatons in this collective of no individual identity. So I think those in power prefer the way it is. They like that there's civic illiteracy. They like seeing those videos of like jaywalking back in the day, but you can see them on YouTube. You go ask a kid, who's the president today, or what are the three branches of government, and they don't know, right? And we laugh and we bemoan that, oh my gosh, what a failure. But I think ultimately those in power are completely okay with it because it serves their purposes and it allows them to continue to dominate and manipulate us. So if we want something different, if we don't want their same goals and ends, we have to reject and either reform or reject or compete against or pursue some other course, because the status quo is not working for us. It is working for them, and we can't rely ultimately, I think, on government institutions to teach us the dangers of government. And I think what we see right now is Exhibit A of that.